Okay, hey y'all, welcome back to another video with Life with Chester for the Bold and Beautiful May 2nd, 2025. Look, I'm about to say April again, y'all. Hold on. Okay, so first we're gonna start with Steph and Finn. First of all, didn't too much happen on today's episode. They still doing flashbacks. They love these doggone flashbacks. But yeah, not too much happened. Steph and Finn was still talking about Liam and his condition, the fact that he's dying. Steph is still in disbelief. And she was just talking to Finn about, coming clean to Hope, the fact that she has a right to know or whatever. But yeah, she was saying how when Hope, despite everything that despite everything that her and Hope have going on, she's gonna be destroyed by this news or whatever. When she finds out, and look like on next week's episode, she's supposed to be telling her the truth. Look like she's supposed to be telling her the truth or whatever. She's gonna be there, and Hope gonna be asking her, "What is it about Liam?" And Steffi just gonna be crying and stuff. And I was like, "See, I'm ready for Bill and them to find out though." But yeah, that's all Steffi and Finn was talking about. Liam and Hope, he still was urging her to give Carter another chance, saying how he believes that Carter is a good man and stuff like that. He keep talking, he giving it away, but she not really paying attention to that. I don't know if she actually gonna forgive Carter, because on next week's episode, look like Daphne still gonna be in his face or whatever. Look like they still having the same kind of clothes. But yeah, Daphne still supposed to be pursuing him on next week's episode. I said, do y'all think that what's gonna lead them to reunite is finding out that Steffi and Daphne and them was the reason behind them breaking up? Well, not the reason behind them breaking up, but y'all know that they set this whole plan in motion. I said maybe that's gonna be what leads them to get together. But yeah, Leon ends up convincing Hope to text Carter. She do. He got there and he was apologizing for not telling her the truth and for not walking out with her and stuff like that. And that's all they was talking about. And he was asking her if she could forgive him. She ended up hugging him or whatever, and I was like, she about to forgive him, but they didn't show it. They did not show it. So we'll see on next week's episode. Carter, Brooke, Ridge still talking about the same thing. Carter was thinking about Hope and saying how she belongs there, and Brooke was in agreement. Ridge came in and told them he don't want to hear none of that. Ridge came in and told them he don't want to hear none of that. But yeah, Carter told Hope that he's still gonna be trying. He's still gonna make sure that Ridge forgives her and give her another chance. I said, you better be worried about yourself. You better be worried about yourself. But they were still talking about the same thing about how you forgave me, you forgave Brooke or whatever. What about Hope? And he was, and then excuse me, Rich was like, the difference once again is that y'all apologized and y'all knew what y'all did was wrong. So Carter was like, so you saying that if she comes and she apologizes or whatever, that you gonna bring her back? He said it's up to Steffi. He said it's up to Steffi. I was like, Steffi, the reason we in this situation. Hardly the reason we in this situation. I was like, see, all them supposed to be in agreement. That's why exactly why I told y'all. I said, really, all of them supposed to put it to a vote. Just like that scene where they fired Thomas because he did the whole CPS situation. They supposed to all put it to a vote or whatever. But yeah, he said that ultimately it's up to Steffi. So maybe this whole Liam situation is gonna cause Steffi to rethink things. And then they still gotta find out that Steffi got Daphne to come there. Katie knows so far. But yeah, then after Carter left, Brooke's still over here talking about her destiny. I said, lady, give it up. Was that the same music that they played during the fashion show? Or did they add some new music? Was that the same music? I was like, that music, I don't remember that music. But yeah, they was playing another flashback. I said, we just seen it. I always said, like, it's cool to have a flashback when, it's been a long time. We just seen this good in the doggone dress the other day. We don't need no memory then. We seen her yesterday too in the same dress. How many flashbacks they gonna do? But yeah, I was like, look, you're supposed to save flashbacks for when it's been a long time or for a refresher or something. We don't need to be refreshed. We don't need to be refreshed. But Steffi ended up coming back and she was talking to Liam. He was like, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. That he's still having a hard time, accepting things. Then Luna back. Luna back on next week's episode. She's gonna be at the house. She's gonna be there talking to Finn in the house. I said, how'd she get in the house? I said, how did she get in the house? She ain't supposed to be nowhere near there. But yeah, she's supposed to be there trying to convince fans, saying, I know you want something to do with me, stuff like that. I was like, here we go. They got to start it back up. Hope and Carter. Let me make sure I ain't missing none. Liam talks about life being short. Oh, when he was talking to Hope, he was saying how life's too short. And that's when I thought, Hope was going to figure things out. But yeah, he was just talking about life being too short and stuff. Or was he talking to Steffi when he said that? I don't know. But Liam, you can tell something's off, something's wrong or whatever. But I feel like when fans said something about there has to be something out there, some type of treatment, some type of cure, to save Liam. I was like, they finna save him. I said they finna save him. But yeah, that's what he was saying when he was talking to Steffi. Hope and Carter. I think we covered it. I think we already covered it. He was asking for her forgiveness and asking if they can, get back together and stuff like that. But she didn't answer him. She did not answer him. But I'm assuming she gonna answer him on next week's episode. So we'll see. Lastly, we got Ridge and Brooke. She's still talking about her destiny, trying to reunite. He over here talking about some. She looks spectacular. I said, now Taylor, any other day you walking in, you need to hear him. You need to hear him. It don't make no difference. I take that back. It don't make no difference. They been on her everything. They done been heard everything. I was like, yeah. I was like, any other day she walking in and everything. He over here talking about how many times you gonna tell her she look good? How many times you gonna tell her? Talking about she looks spectacular or whatever. Then she was like talking about destiny and how that's why, I'm never giving up on us. I was like, you need to. You need to give up. It's about that time now. But yeah, I forgot a part about Carter. He was telling Hope how who he been searching for all these years or whatever. And I was like, I don't know about all that. We'll see though. But yeah, that's it. I covered everything. I already talked about how Carter's still trying to get Ridge to bring Hope back. I talked about how Steffi feels like Hope has a right to know and look like she's gonna be the one telling her on next week's episode. Let me see. Finn said if there was something. We talked about that, a cure. What else did they show on next week's episode? I know they showed Steffi talking to Hope about tell her the truth about Liam. They showed Luna talking to Finn. They showed Daphne putting the moves on Carter. I think that's everything, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's everything. Let me know your thoughts down below on this episode. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, this is have a great rest of the day, a great weekend, and be safe.